I gasped, speechless. I wanted to be with him more than anything, but to stay in the nevermore forever? Adrius, I whispered. I don't... My voice caught in my throat. It has nothing to do with you, my feelings for you. I'm only 17 and... He stood abruptly, not waiting for me to finish with my carefully rehearsed babble of excuses. I'd thrown them often enough at both my mom and at Neil when the subject of marriage came up. I'd spent a long time forming my disdain for being tied down, remembering all too well the agony my mom went through when my dad disappeared. But this was the first time someone challenging it felt so uncomfortable, as if there was far more at stake than either one of us was admitting. Please, don't go. You caught me off guard. I do love you. I can't imagine being apart from you ever. It's just... I twisted a lock of hair around my finger, then dropped it and shook my head. Why couldn't I just say yes? Why was it so hard to make that choice? Why did I have to choose at all? He pressed his finger gently against my lips. It's all right, Lorelei. His eyes were heavy with melancholy. Wait, talk to me. Adrius pulled me up from the ground, lacing his fingers with mine, kissing the back of my hand. He seemed to recollect himself, and his expression lifted. Let's go. It's getting late, and they'll be searching for you soon. He kept his voice light and planted a kiss on my forehead. I smiled weakly, not feeling any less guilt. He was in pain, and, as usual, I was the cause. It tortured me to know this, as I watched him disappear into the shadows as day swept over the island. Amaryllis frowned as he breezed past her, and then she regarded me with questioning eyes. A faint headache tugged at the back of my head, partly from the fairy wine, but also from my conversation with Adrius. But I had to put all of it aside now, because this was what I had come for. I'm ready, I said, my voice cracking. She laughed and placed a large book in my hand. I opened it, squinted at the text, and gave her a quizzical glance. I can't read this. It was written in a strange, elongated script I couldn't read. But as I stared at the page, the symbols rearranged themselves, forming words and then sentences in English. I gasped, but kept reading, afraid they might vanish completely if I looked away. Humans live under great limitations. Those limitations pervade their world, keeping them from experiencing their true power. They believe that there are no other worlds aside from the one in which they are living. We find that so interesting, when children and many others have witnessed so much of what they call make-believe. We wonder, how do they allow those conflicting beliefs to coincide? There is so much more that awaits them, and yet they will never be able to access it as long as they believe it does not exist. Their limiting beliefs shape their limited realities. With believing comes seeing, and if they would look with believing eyes, they would find the doorway to fairy, and as friends of old, we would bid them to enter. I closed the book, and waited for Amaryllis to say something. Now you are ready, she said simply. Okay? I stumbled after her. We roamed under the canopy of trees down a grassy mound, arriving at the water's edge on a beach of sparkling white sand that could have passed for diamond dust, with waters as clear and brilliant as an aquamarine gemstone. Let us begin with the basics, shall we? Amaryllis fluttered toward me. She smiled, lighting up her eyes from within. Tuning into your magical field. It is with you at all times, and it obeys your every command. You simply need to decide, and it will form itself as needed. It can be seen as a glimmering light surrounding you. Change the color of the light, change the focus and intent. Like the colors of a rainbow, each signifies a different strain of magic. Amaryllis paused, keenly regarding my expression. I nodded, trying to keep up, most of the time only pretending I had any idea what she meant. Red is most often used for physical safety and protection, orange for procreation, yellow for internalizing personal power and manifesting in the outer world. Green, as you would already know, is for matters of the heart and healing.